Production funding is brought to you in part by A. Reddix and Associates, a healthcare management consulting firm bridging the gap between healthcare policy and the community through education, training, and outreach. Find out more at ardx.net. Discussing the issues and celebrating the successes of the African American community. This is Another View.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Barbara Ham Lee. One of the things that makes Hampton Roads a great place to live, work, and play is our access to jazz music. Now, there are two local institutions whose mission it is to make sure that this uniquely American form of music never dies. Our sister radio station, WHRV 89.5 FM, and the Break the Glass Foundation. Here to talk with us about all things jazz are Stephanie Middleton, Executive Director of the Break the Glass Foundation, Incorporated, musician, composer, producer, jazz announcer, and all-around nice guy, Jae Sinnett of WHRV FM and the Jae Sinnett Trio, and Jurnie Allmond, a jazz vocalist, and she's only 8 years old. Welcome to the program, everybody.
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
So, Stephanie, we are going to have an opportunity as part of the Minds Wide Open arts celebration of women in the arts all year long to hear about jazz, women in jazz. We think about vocalists, but women really aren't the focus of jazz, are they?
Well, no, and actually women have been involved in jazz since the inception of jazz, but they just didn't get the same recognition as men. And some of the famous jazz females that we are familiar with are the Etta James, the Ella Fitzgerald, the Sarah, but there have been some wonderful instrumentalists as well. So this year we are going to celebrate and honor women in jazz, and we wanted to not only showcase a vocalist such as Simone, Nina Simone's daughter, but we also want an instrumentalist. And so we have the great Regina Carter.
And she's going to be here, and we're going to talk about exactly when the concert is and so forth in just a little bit. But Jay, how unusual is it for, or how difficult, I guess I should say, is it for a woman to break into the jazz genre? You're a performer, and for men it seems like it may be pretty easy.
No,
No?
not really.
Okay,
Actually,
good.
I think women might have an advantage, particularly if they can play, just for the fact that they're female. And I think, going back to the days of Mary Lou Williams, probably the first significant female instrumentalist who was in the Ellington organization, also wrote and arranged for Duke Ellington.
And what did she play?
She was a pianist. She died in '81.
Okay.
But there are many fabulous women instrumentalists today, like drummers Terry Lynn Carrington, Sheila E., believe it or not, is a fantastic drummer.
Cindy Blackman.
Cindy Blackman is another fantastic drummer. Ingrid Jensen, trumpeter, Joanne Bratt-Keane, Jerry Allen. I mean, there are Hiromi, the young, sensational Japanese pianist. I think the bottom line is now, I think there was more of the sexist thing years ago. I don't think that is as commonplace today. I think the bottom line is if you can play, and if you have some good representation, meaning label, management, that sort of thing, you're gonna work.
Now, Stephanie, you spend time teaching young people. The Break the Glass Foundation is about really, one, acknowledging the legends, the jazz legends, and helping them, but also to make sure that young folks learn about jazz. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's our mission is for the jazz legends to pass that torch down to the next generation. Jazz is a wonderful art form, but it's not something that you can really learn from a textbook. It needs to be passed from one generation to the next, and it needs to be a personal interaction. So that's what BTG is about. We bring jazz legends, and they actually interact with our young folks. And to Jay's point, yes, there are a lot of female jazz artists out there, but we want to make sure that our young girls also know about these jazz artists so that we could bring them more to the forefront of this wonderful art form.
Now, Jurnie, you are an 8-year-old jazz vocalist. How did you start singing jazz?
Well, I started singing with my cousin, her name is Joyce White Tasby, and I've been doing things ever since I was 5, and I just kept on doing it.
Now, you sung at the Apollo?
Yes.
And you sung where else?
London.
In London? And why jazz as opposed to other kinds of music?
Because it's smooth and it doesn't have a lot of violence in it and stuff like that.
So now, who's your favorite jazz artist? Do you have one?
Yes.
Who is that?
Etta James.
She said Etta James, and your second is Jae Sinnett, right? Well, for the audience to know, we have a treat for you because prior to our coming together to talk about jazz, we had Jurnie give us a little sample of what she's going to be performing at the jazz concert on June the 12th, June the 11th. June the 11th. So let's take a look and see her perform.
Wrapped up in clover. The night looked at you. I found a dream that I can speak to, a dream that
got that swagger on. What do you think about when you're singing that? Any thoughts that go through your mind?
No.
No? You just kind of let the music take over?
Yes.
Now, you're going to be singing at the Sandler Center on July 11th. I believe you're opening for Simone.
She's opening
Is that
for
right?
Simone.
So there are going to be several hundred people there. You know, are you a little nervous about that?
Yes.
A little bit? I'm sure you're going to do fine. Jae, you've been teaching with Break the Glass and working with the young people. What do you see in today's musicians and in terms of their appreciation for jazz?
I see a lot of interest with the younger players, but I don't see a lot of access that they have to get the information that they need to become better jazz musicians.
Explain.
It's not taught in the schools like I think it should be. I mean, there are some programs that are pretty good, some better than others. It's not consistent, I guess that's a good word to use. The technology is there, but the technology basically gives us the information. It doesn't teach us what we're listening to. And I think that's the key. So Stephanie was right. When you can have a hands-on situation, you can get these kids in front of somebody who really knows the music, the nuances of the music, the musical applicational things like harmony and theory and stuff like that, rhythm, which we have as part of this event. I'm one of the teachers here, and it's as a teacher, it's so great to see these kids light up. Their eyes get big when they finally get it. Like, oh, you know, you get the feeling that they were thinking they were so close, but they just needed that one person to give them that little bit of extra information to push them over the top. And I think that's the advantage of the student being around somebody who has lived the music, taught the music, performs the music at a professional level. And then they can get it. So if more kids would have access to that information, I think we'd have more kids playing jazz.
Now, Jurnie is going to be studying under Andi.
Is that right? Yes, Andi Marie Moore.
Yeah, we did a profile with Andi and Porgy and Bess on the show before, so that's going to be pretty exciting. Tell me about the classes and how you get the jazz artists to work with the students.
Well, we have jazz artists such as Jae Sinnett who understand the importance of giving back to the young folks in order to keep the torch going. And so each year we have, and we've never had a problem getting the jazz artists to agree to do the master class. I love that. Last year, Jae Sinnett's class, it was absolutely awesome, and I had a student that contacted me after the class that told me, let Mr. Sinnett know I tried a technique that he taught me, and it worked. And when you hear that, you know, you know you're on the right track. You know that the students actually want it. We just need to provide it. So last year we also had Randy Brecker, who had just had the best time working with the students. So the students want it, the artists want to give back to the students, but we just need to create that forum. We need to bring them together.
So how does the student get involved?
The student, they can contact Break the Glass Foundation. We have a website, breaktheglassfoundation.org. And also they can contact us through our area code is area code 757-749-7941. And again, the master classes, we will have classes by Jae Sinnett, Andi Marie Moore. Also, Regina Carter is going to be doing a class.
Wow.
And Dr. Frank Foster. So you just can't, that's talent at its best and free to Hampton Roads students.
Now you have another young lady who is a jazz violinist who is going to open for Regina. Is that right? And her name is Jorinda?
Jorinda Manley. Jorinda Manley was actually our scholarship recipient in 2008. She was awarded the Dr. Frank Foster Scholarship.
Okay. We've got a little bit of Jorinda. Let's listen to her play. Jae, how much of it is showmanship? And how much of it is performing? Or do you, I guess the better question is, do you teach the showmanship along with the performing?
Barbara, years ago, very quickly, I used to be into the showmanship, twirling the sticks and everything, until one day at a packed concert, I fell off my drum chair.
Oh, no.
Doing the showmanship thing, and I haven't done it since.
That cured you, huh?
Yeah, that cured me right there. But what I wanted to say in response to Stephanie, something I've been thinking about, kids have to have a reason to like jazz, to go to jazz. When you really think about what the children have access to, Barbara, there's not much jazz. So when you turn on TV, you don't hear it. When you see it on MTV or watch MTV, you don't hear jazz. Chances are in their school, when I was in high school before I heard the name Duke Ellington. But I was in fourth grade when I heard the name Beethoven. So, I mean, we have to give the kids a reason to believe that this is something worth their time.
So most of the time when you talk with the kids, and I'll ask this to both of you, how do they tell you they come to jazz? Because you're right, I mean, it's not outside of smooth jazz, as they call it.
Mainly through their parents.
So it's mainly through their parents.
And if the parents don't know, then you know, they will never have exposure to it unless they hear it, you know, get it from somebody else in school, one of their buddies, their parents, one of their friends' parents. But you asked me about showmanship. I think we're such an entertainment-driven society, you know, which I don't particularly find helpful in really learning a craft in a very deep, meaningful kind of way. People want to see the entertainment. They want to see the lights, the hairdos, the costumes, and all that stuff. But I think jazz, it's more intelligent than that. And I think that therein lies the problem. It's a thinking person's music. It's a thought-provoking, very, very creative, highly creative art form. And I think the entertainment factor is good. I talk to people when my group plays. That's my form of entertainment. But through this dialogue, through this conversation, they're learning about what we're doing.
Exactly.
And I think you can have entertainment that is meaningful, but you can also have entertainment that takes you nowhere.
And we have some of you playing right now. We can listen to this a little bit. And Jay, you have a new CD out, don't you?
Yes, we do.
It's called Theater.
Theater, and I'm proud to say it reached number 6 on the National Jazz Radio Chart.
Congratulations! Awesome,
Thank
awesome.
you.
So now tell us about the thought, the genesis behind theater, and.
Okay, another interesting story. As short as possible. One of the engineers here at the station, one of these audio files, kept coming to me, and Brian Hughes, he'll love to hear me say his name. Saying, Jay, I have this analog half-inch tape, you know, and I've been recording some things. It's fantastic. And, you know, most people don't record analog today.
Yeah.
Everything's digital. So I kind of put him off and put him off and put him off. He kept bugging me about it, and I said, all right, finally, all right, Brian, come on out and record us. So he did, gave me the tapes. I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, Brian, I think you need to come back out and record some more of us, you know. So that's how we record a theater. It's my first live recording. And the other thing about theater, it's completely analog, old school, how they used to record it years ago, and there's not one bit of editing on this record.
So it's all done live to tape. That's what you got, what you see, what you hear is what you get.
What you heard on that concert is on that tape.
What's the difference in the quality? Because everybody talks about how great digital is, but
that's
for the jazz music,
a debatable thing. But for me personally, I think analog recordings capture the room ambiance in a different way than digital recordings. I think digital is like real up close, personal, in your face. You hear every little, sometimes gory detail. I think ambiance lets the analog recording lets the room breathe. It captures the room sound in a very different, warm kind of way.
So it's really like taking you to the concert and enveloping you.
I think you really feel you're in a concert when you're listening to an analog recording. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Now, Stephanie, give us the details about the concert. I am proud to say that I am the MC for the third time. We have such a great time. But it is on June the 11th. It's the 4th annual Jazz Legends Festival, celebrating women in jazz. Right? Friday, June 11th at 7:30 p.m. at the Sandler Center.
At the Sandler Center.
Okay, where do people get tickets?
You get tickets online through Cox Tix, or you can go to the Sandler box office, or you can call Cox Tix to get your tickets. It is going to be an awesome concert. We will have Simone, who will be doing a tribute to her mother, Nina Simone.
Wow, that's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. Nina Simone.
Now, originally, it was supposed to be Regina Carter and Diane Reeves, and something happened.
Yes, Diane Reeves had a family emergency, and she had to cancel her tours in the Mid-Atlantic. To assist her family.
Well, then we hope that everything goes well with her family. But Simone and Diane Reeves and Regina Carter are just going to carry it on.
Yes, it's going to be a fabulous, all women, from the MC down to Miss Jurnie.
That's going to be fantastic. Now, Miss Jurnie, are you excited about doing the concert, or are you more excited about working with Andy and learning some more techniques for your voice?
The concert.
The concert? So tell me, when you're in those classes, is it hard work?
No.
It's not? Is it because you love music so much?
Mm-hmm.
What got you interested in music in the first place?
Because when I was a little girl, I used to listen to a lot of music, and then my aunt used to like hum things, and I used to repeat it, so that's how I like it so much.
So what do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to be a singer and a vet.
A singer and a vet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so you're going to combine your love of animals with your love of music.
Yes.
So do you think you'll continue to sing jazz?
Yes.
Yes? That'll be good.
I like what she said when she was a little girl.
Absolutely, I know, because
because
that's so long ago. I mean, after all, look at all of the experiences that she's had. That is fantastic.
But I think it goes back to what Jay was saying, because she was exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
The exposure really is the key.
Okay.
to students in
Just to
jazz.
remind our audience one more time, it's the 4th annual Jazz Legends Festival, celebrating women in jazz, featuring Regina Carter and Simone, and that is on Friday, June the 11th at 7:30 p.m. at the Sandler Center.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank
I really
you. Always a
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And up next, meet the Austins, where graduation is all in the family. But first, here's what's happening in Hampton Roads. You may be familiar with the expression, the family that prays together stays together. But what about the family that studies together? As our Lisa Godley discovered, they all get degrees and graduate on the same day. Meet the Austin family of Newport News.
Arthur Austin has always set the bar high, whether it was during a very decorated career in the military or his second career as a public health inspector for the city of Newport News. So it's no surprise that he feels this way about education.
I'm an older guy. I'm old school, and I believe that if you get an education, it opens doors for you.
It's a philosophy that resonates through the Austins' Newport News home, so much so that Arthur, his wife Deborah, and daughter Leanna all found themselves pursuing degrees online at the same time. For Arthur, who earned both his associate's and bachelor's degrees the old-fashioned way by going across town to class, St. Leo University's online approach was intriguing.
I had never used the technology before. I watched the wife go through it, and I said, well, I want to try this. And I did.
He says one of the hardest things about taking online classes was overcoming the distractions, like TV, food, or any of the little things that tend to pop up around the house.
I found it very interesting after I got into it. And with my discipline, the healthcare management field, I like that stuff, so I just went right on through it.
For Deborah, having her husband and oldest daughter all hitting the books at the same time was a blessing.
By them being in the same seat I was in, they know what I was going through, so they didn't expect very much of me when I was at home because I had homework to do. They're like, okay, just get it done.
So, while Deborah worked on getting her master's in business administration from St. Leo, Arthur pursued a master's in business with an emphasis in healthcare management. Meanwhile, Leanna, who'd returned after serving in the Air Force for 6 years, was ready to further her education and began working on her Associate of Arts degree.
And so I wanted to do this for, an inspiration to other family members, as well as to the youth group that I have at church, to show them that, you can do this if you set your mind to it.
As soon as she completed her requirements for her associate's degree, Leanna began working on her bachelor's degree.
1 degree down, 3 more to go.
She says she doesn't plan on stopping until she's earned her doctorate in psychology with an emphasis in early childhood development. While Arthur, Deborah, and Leanna all completed their requirements in time to graduate in May, at one point, every member of the Austin family was in school at the same time.
We had one graduate last year with her associate's degree, in which she's planning now to go back and get a bachelor's degree. But we have a daughter currently at Hampton University that is majoring in chemistry now. So we're very proud of all of them, of their achievements of going back beyond high school.
Deborah admits that it was tough sometimes with a full-time job, kids in college, and everyone's extracurricular activities, but the reward of being able to earn her degree was worth the sacrifice. Arthur agrees and offers this advice to anyone considering going back to school.
Never stop learning. The doors will open for you. You have to pray on these things. You can't forget whose you are. But also you have to know that he doesn't want you to suck up, and never give up on learning. You can never stop, no matter, even if you achieve the goal of getting master's degrees, doctorates, etc. Continue to go, because learning never stops.
For Another View, I'm Lisa Godley.
And we wish the Austin family the very best. That is just so awesome that all of them were able to graduate at the same time. And a little bit of a sad note now, but the community at large, and particularly the African-American community of Hampton Roads, lost a giant this week. Edith Jones served for more than 40 years with the STOP organization, the last 19 as president and CEO. And thanks to her leadership, thousands of low-income families and individuals got a head start on education. They attended summer camps and just had a better life. We send our condolences to the Jones family. Edith, we will miss you. And Hampton Roads is a better place because of your love and dedication, particularly to our children. And we thank you for joining us this evening. Next week, we're going to have a history lesson on Native Americans in Hampton Roads. You'd be surprised what the combination between African Americans and Native Americans are. See you next time for another View.
Production funding is brought to you in part by A. Reddix & Associates, a healthcare management consulting firm bridging the gap between healthcare policy and the community through education, training, and outreach. Find out more at ardx.net.